Deuteronomy Chapter 13. If a prophet or a dreamer of dreams stands up in your midst and gives you a sign or wonder, and the sign or the wonder occurs, about which he spoke to you, saying, Let us go after other gods whom you have not known, and let us serve them. You shall not listen to the words of that prophet or to that dreamer of dreams, for Jehovah your God is testing you in order to know whether you love Jehovah your God with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall follow Jehovah your God, and you shall fear him, keep his commandments, listen to his voice, serve him, and hold fast to him. But that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has advocated apostasy from Jehovah your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and ransomed you from the slave house, in order to force you out of the way in which Jehovah your God has commanded you to walk. Thus you shall utterly remove the evil from your midst. If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son or daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is like your own soul to you entice you secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which neither you nor your fathers have known. Of the gods of the peoples who are surrounding you, those who are near you or those who are far from you, from one end of the earth to the other. You shall not yield to him nor listen to him, nor shall your eye pity him, neither shall you spare him nor conceal him. But you must slay him, your hand shall be first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. And you shall stone him with stones so that he dies, because he sought to force you away from Jehovah your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the slave house. And all Israel will hear and will fear and will never do anything like this evil thing in your midst again. If you hear in one of your cities, which Jehovah your God is giving you to dwell in, someone saying that some worthless men have gone out from your midst and have forced the inhabitants of their city, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known. Then you shall investigate and examine carefully and inquire thoroughly. And if indeed the thing is true and certain this abomination has been done in your midst, you must slay the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying it and all that is in it and its animals with the edge of the sword. And all its spoil you shall gather at the middle of its open square, and you shall burn the city and all its spoil with fire holy to Jehovah your God. And it shall be a mound only forever, it shall not be built again. And nothing of what has been cursed shall cling to your hand, in order that Jehovah may turn from his burning anger and show you tenderness and be compassionate to you and multiply you as he swore to your fathers. When you listen to the voice of Jehovah your God and keep all his commandments, which I am commanding you today, and do what is right in the sight of Jehovah your God. Deuteronomy Chapter 14. You are the children of Jehovah your God. You shall not cut yourselves nor shave your forehead for the dead. For you are a holy people to Jehovah your God, and Jehovah has chosen you to be a people for his personal treasure, from among all the peoples which are upon the face of the earth. You shall not eat any abominable thing. These are the animals which you may eat, the ox, the sheep, and the goat. The deer, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, the mountain sheep. And every animal that has a divided hoof, that is, has its hoof split in two, and that chews the cud among the animals, that you may eat. However, these you shall not eat of those that chew the cud or of those that have a cleft hoof, the camel, the hare, and the hyrax, because although they chew the cud, they do not have a divided hoof, they are unclean to you. And the pig, because although it has a divided hoof, it does not chew the cud, it is unclean to you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor shall you touch their carcasses. These you may eat of all that are in the water, anything that has fins and scales you may eat. But anything that does not have fins and scales you shall not eat, it is unclean to you. You may eat any clean bird. But these are what you shall not eat, the great vulture, the bearded vulture, and the black vulture. The kite, the falcon, and the kite of every kind. And all ravens of every kind. The ostrich, the nighthawk, the sea gull, and the hawk of every kind. The little owl, the great owl, the white owl. The pelican, the carrion vulture, the cormorant. The stork, the heron of every kind, the hoopoe, and the bat. And all flying insects are unclean to you, they shall not be eaten. You may eat any clean flying animal. You shall not eat any carcass. To the sojourner who is within your gates you may give it that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner. For you are a holy people to Jehovah your God. You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. You must give 1/10 of all the produce of your seed, which the field brings forth, year by year. And you shall eat before Jehovah your God, in the place where he will choose to cause his name to dwell, the tithe of your grain, of your new wine, and of your fresh oil and the firstborn of your herd and flock, that you may learn to fear Jehovah your God always. But if the way is so far away from you that you are not able to carry your tithe, because the place where Jehovah your God will choose to set his name is too far away from you when Jehovah your God has blessed you, then you shall exchange it for money and bind up the money in your hand, and you shall go to the place which Jehovah your God will choose. And you shall exchange the money for anything that your soul desires, for oxen, for sheep, for wine, for strong drink, or for anything that your soul would like, and you and your household shall eat there before Jehovah your God and rejoice. But you shall not forsake the Levite who is within your gates, for he has no portion nor inheritance with you. At the end of every 3 years you shall bring forth all the tithe of your produce for that year and lay it within your gates. And the Levite shall come, for he has no portion nor inheritance with you, as well as the sojourner and the orphan and the widow who are within your gates, and they shall eat and be satisfied, so that Jehovah your God may bless you in all the work of your hand which you do. Deuteronomy Chapter 15. At the end of every 7 years you shall issue a release. And this is the manner of the release: every creditor shall release from his hand that which he has lent to his neighbor, he shall not exact it from his neighbor or his brother, for Jehovah's release has been proclaimed. From the foreigner you may exact the debt, but whatever of yours your brother has, your hand shall release. However, there shall not be any needy among you, for Jehovah will surely bless you in the land which Jehovah your God is giving you as an inheritance to possess. But only if you carefully listen to the voice of Jehovah your God and are certain to do all this commandment which I am commanding you today. For Jehovah your God will bless you as he has promised you. And you will lend to many nations, but you will not borrow, and you will rule over many nations, but they will not rule over you. If among you there is a needy one amidst your brothers within any of your gates in your land, which Jehovah your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart, and you shall not close up your hand from your needy brother. But you must open your hand to him, and you must lend enough for his need in whatever he lacks. Be careful that there is not within your heart a base thought like this: the 7th year, the year of release, is near, and your eye be evil against your needy brother, and you do not give him anything, and he cry against you to Jehovah, and it becomes sin to you. You must give to him, and your heart shall not be displeased when you give to him, for on account of this matter Jehovah your God will bless you in all your work and in all your undertakings. For the needy will not cease being in the land, therefore I am commanding you, saying, you must open your hand to your brother, to the poor one with you and to the needy one with you in your land. If your brother, a Hebrew man or woman, is sold to you, he shall serve you 6 years, but in the 7th year you shall set him free. And when you set him free, you shall not send him away empty-handed. You must supply him richly from your flock and from your threshing floor and from your winepress, as Jehovah your God has blessed you, so shall you give to him. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and that Jehovah your God ransomed you, therefore I am commanding you this thing today. And if he says to you, I will not go forth from you, because he loves you and your household, for it goes well with him to be with you. Then you shall take an awl and run it through his ear and into the door, and he shall be your servant forever, and thus also shall you do to your female servant. You shall not view it as a hardship when you set him free, for he served you for 6 years, saving you double the wages of a hired hand, and Jehovah your God will bless you in all that you do. All firstborn males that are brought forth in your herd and in your flock you shall sanctify to Jehovah your God. You shall not do work with your firstborn ox, nor shall you shear your firstborn sheep. You and your household shall eat it before Jehovah your God year by year in the place which Jehovah will choose. And if there is a blemish in it, lameness or blindness, any serious blemish, you shall not sacrifice it to Jehovah your God. You shall eat it within your gates, the unclean and the clean alike may eat it, as the gazelle and the deer. However, you shall not eat its blood, you shall pour it out upon the earth like water.